Hey everybody, how you doing? EDGYTIM checking in from the headquarters, and again, time to get caught up on a whole lot of recruiting news this summer. Obviously, the month of June has just been it's always pretty crazy, but it seems like it's been a little bit more crazy this June compared to others. So a lot of kids are making verbal commitments, and that was expected, especially since the NCAA reopened the recruiting period. They lifted the dead period ban that was in place because of COVID. And obviously, a lot of these kids are allowed to take official visits and thus, camps. And a lot of college decisions have come, and I'm expecting even more over the next few days, leading into probably early next week. But I think a lot of this should probably be wrapped up by the end of this week as far as your higher level FBS commitment types. Certainly there's some Power 5 level kids that I think are going to be making decisions as well. And one I wanted to talk to in particular, and again, I'm going to try to go back and give you as many of my takes on any players possible in the that get verbal commitments in the 2022 class. And we need to talk about Maurice Edwards from Warren Township, because here's a young man that ends up landing an offer from Vanderbilt, and ends up obviously committing to the Commodores. So in a lot of ways, I thought Maurice Edwards was considerably underranked and overlooked in this process on several different levels. So let's get into this. So Maurice Edwards started his career at Grayslake Central, transferred out, I believe, after his sophomore year to Warren. And, going back to his freshman, sophomore years at Grayslake Central, I mean, Maurice had a heck of a terrific film. Really liked what he was doing in his game at Grayslake Central. I know I had talked to Mike Maloney, who was the head coach at Grayslake Central, and he raved about Maurice and his work ethic, and also academically very strong in the classroom, Maurice, as well. So a lot to offer back then. So he hit my watch list again his freshman, sophomore year, and been kind of keeping tabs of him ever since. Then he transfers out of Grayslake and heads over to Warren in Gurnee. So he ends up in Warren Township, which, again, just a great football program that really has turned the corner under Brian McNulty. And you see a kid like Maurice Edwards come in, and you just think, wow, what an impact player. And that's exactly what Maurice was. And certainly the spring he was able to show it playing for Warren. And Maurice just has a ton of upside. And I've seen this for over a year, almost 2 years now. And it's one of those cases where you scratch your head and you look and you do your evaluations and you think, boy, I must be really off, because I saw a kid in Maurice Edwards that I thought was a Power 5 running back, to be honest. I see a lot of, there's just a ton to offer there. Maurice has great size. He's a bigger back, but he doesn't run like a big back. He's got some speed and some explosiveness, and just the way he runs a football. We have him listed at 6 foot 193. I'm going to guess he's probably closer to 200 pounds now. And so he has the size. I think he can be an every down back. He shows really good hands coming out of the backfield. I think that's something he's really worked on the last year or two, is becoming better with his hands and just being an every down back. And he's definitely that. And you watch him in position drills, and he's got great feet and quickness. And he's one of those backs that can get up to full speed in a couple of steps. And we talk about the size, which also comes with power. So he can run with power. He can run through tackles and through defenders, yet has that second and third gear to really get downfield and really burst open and be a big play threat every time he touches the ball. And again, I just loved him. I don't know what others didn't see from him. I know obviously Maurice is going to be one of those kids in this class of 2022 that people are going to look back and say, wow, why didn't more people offer him? And I'm going to point towards COVID and say, well, he's example number one of probably at that point, it'll probably be 200 kids that ended up having really good college careers and maybe even further on. And one of those kids you look back and just go, wow, people really missed the boat on this kid. I think the ones that really missed the boat on him are the Big Ten schools. It didn't make sense to me why Maurice just didn't have more Big Ten offers in particular. Again, I just see what he's able to do in his physical tools and attributes, his style of running, and his work ethic as well. That gets lost in the mix. I mean, I got to know this young man over the last year plus, and very humble, kind of quiet, hardworking kid. But boy, he gets after it, and again, just really, really impressive on a lot of different levels. Rivals has him ranked as a 3-star, and I think for a long time we were the only ones that had him ranked. And I know some others looked and said, well, okay, well, why haven't the bigger schools offered him? And I don't know why. And again, I'll point towards COVID, where if you're not familiar with the state of Illinois watching this, we did not play in the fall of 2020 because of COVID. We didn't play a 2020 season until the spring of 21. So we're literally coming off of a football season less than 2 months ago. Definitely impacted recruiting across the state. I think it definitely impacted a kid like Maurice Edwards at a position that you've got a lot of standout running backs and a lot of different routes colleges can go. And they obviously had gone that way with several other different running backs. And again, I think the Big Ten schools are the ones that are going to look back and go, yeah, we maybe should have went after this kid. So we have him ranked as a 3-star. I said from very early on, I think he's a 4-star, and I think he's going to get a chance to prove that this fall. Again, not much that I don't like about him and his game. I meant the physicals and the ability. He's got great vision, and I mentioned his feet and his work. I mean, he's just a really well-rounded, polished running back, and a kid that I feel is mature beyond his age. Really excited to see what he does in college, because I think when it's all said and done, he's got a chance to really make a mark. And I'm thrilled that, again, we mentioned academically and going to Vanderbilt, and you're going to go get a terrific education playing in the SEC. So, hey, no feedback at all from Maurice Edwards. But, again, I'm just giving you my opinion. I think a lot of schools missed on this kid. And, hey, it worked out for Maurice. So congrats to him. And, again, I see him as a 4-star here. We'll let Rivals figure that out. I know Josh Hemholt, in particular, our Midwest guy, also likes Maurice. He was one of the few guys also on Maurice's bandwagon at this point. So, again, excited for Maurice, and stay tuned. Lots more breakdown and evaluations coming your way really all summer long.